Star and producer of Into the Forest, Ellen Page. Congratulations. It's been a long journey. This film played at the Toronto International Film Festival, and now you're just days away from opening day. You're in front of big audiences here. How does it feel?
Exciting.
It's fantastic. This is what it's all about. This is what it's about. People, just not film professionals, just people who are looking to fiction for something or another, coming to see movies.
And I'm going to ask a couple of questions, and I'll turn it over to you because I know you probably have lots of things you want to ask. Ellen, tell me what it was about this book. You saw it first in novel form that really made you sit up and take notice, because when you say, I'm going to auction this, and then a screenplay will be written and we're going to shoot it, it's years out of your life. And so you have to love something. What was it?
I think it was a lot of things. It's a beautiful read, first and foremost, and I devoured it. And I think it was a lot of things I still think about, but particularly at that time in terms of my relationship to the environment, our societies, my expectations, and I've always been attracted to post-apocalyptic stories and films, and to find this story that was written so beautifully, that tackled the subject in such an intimate way, and really focused on the relationship between these two sisters and the resiliency and their power, and really incorporated the environment and the forest as a character. I hope that was something that we really wanted to be a part of the film. So those were sort of all the things that attracted me the most.
And Patricia, the novel is much longer than the adaptation. When you get something like that, how do you begin? How do you figure out which parts you're going to include, which parts will not be included?
Well, it depends on the novel, of course, but in this case, there was a whole, like 100 pages or so that explained how society had come to collapse. And it was all the things you'd expect. It's all the things that we know are happening. So there was no surprise in it, and it seemed almost redundant to explain it. And there was something cooler and more respectful of the audience, just to jump in and have it disappear. And the process of the mother dying and the little girls growing up is the first. I recommend the novel, actually. You should read it. It's really interesting. There's some sort of real departures, and then there's a lot of similarities. But yeah, I was just drawn to it's so emotional. It's such a clean, pure story. It's just about going into the forest. It's so, and then it's kind of rich for that. It's almost like a fable. And then I just loved the love between these sisters and the way it shifted from the beginning to the middle to the end. And visually, I loved it. And it was just had so many elements that could be strong. And it just feels like something that people, especially young people, are thinking was going to happen. Right?
I'm sure that guy thinks it. Do we have questions? Yeah, I'll start right here.
The movie was so powerful, kind of like hard to watch in some scenes. It was tough. But what would you have liked to think happened to the sisters? Because I haven't read the book, and it kind of ended abruptly. So, what would you guys?
I'll repeat the question so everyone can hear.
Oh, sorry.
The question would be, what do you think happened to the sisters after the end credits rolled?
This is how the book ends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
In fact,
We were just joking about how we did a version where Eva's cell phone rang at the very end. So we're going to cut to black. But
actually, we can put that in the outs on the that take, yeah.
right when they light the match.
Go ahead.
The scene with the wild boar, is that a real wild boar? Like, how did you do that?
Is that a real wild boar?
How did that
Well, you can't kill an animal for a movie,
Yes, I know.
obviously, for good reason. So, but this was a, organic pig, sort of going to market, about to go to the butcher, and we bought it there and redirected it to our set. And Ellen did the honors instead. But we had done she had
I
done
did a practice.
kind of a practice with this guy who is trained in field dressing, and it's a very respectful process actually, and it almost reminded me of she asks the pigs permission at the beginning, and then they use the whole animal, and I think there is something quite respectful about the way that it happens. It's not sort of cavalier and heartless. It was clear that she was engaging with another being.
Ellen,
But Ellen she's amazing.
how did you feel about it?
Yeah.
It's definitely something I wouldn't have thought I would have done in like my, in my life necessarily, unless I was in a position potentially where you're forced to, like Nell found herself, and that's the reality of the world for, people. I don't know, what is it? You just sort of do it, I mean, you have a certain amount of time to make a movie in a day, and you just sort of do it. Is that, no, maybe that's a bad answer, but that's the reality.
But that's how camera assistants were dropping like flies. And Ellen was just going, she did the whole thing. Right?
Well, you were sort of very much in the spirit of the thing. You told me earlier today what you gave away as the wrap presents for everyone.
A little like five. The one you see at the end of the film, and I'm lighting to light the house. Yeah, thank you.
Flint,
Let's switch places.
he doesn't look
I'm
like
tired.
He's 6'4".
So yes,
And that's what you gave
that's
away
how prepared I am for
there.
the end. Yeah.
Go ahead.
There were a couple of songs in the film that seemed to me to really shape some of the scenes and some of the moments. How did you come across the Cat Power song that you used? It just seemed so fitting for the film and like added so much heart and and feeling. So how did you come across finding those, and what was the meaning of them?
Sorry. We are the worst.
She's asking us a question, we're chatting. We're chatting about your question.
We're chatting about your question. That is how much we care.
Great.
But how did the different songs, the score, and
How did you find them, and like what do they mean to you guys, and I guess why did they sort of, like there's that scene of the dancing, when she's dancing, and there's that song, I think it was the Cat Power song.
yeah.
Wild as the Wind, it's an incredible
cover.
song.
Yeah.
It's a cover, and it's been covered by everybody. Bowie,
Nina
and
Simone.
Johnny Mathis, and
Nina
Nina Simone, and it's actually go through, you know what I was thinking? It just should be under the covers, Tom Powers, CBC show. Do you know CBC, did you get that? Anyway, it's, Evan had been dancing to it, and we were also, fans of
Well,
Cat
and I
Power.
think too, even, I remember Evan and I were like we're both really attached to music in terms of working, and I think the music in our films, if we have any kind of control and ability to give an opinion about that, in terms of songs and score, we were lucky enough to get Max Richter to score this film, who's one of my favorite composers. And I feel like, we made music playlists for each other for the movie, and I know Wild as the Wind was very present a lot in that time, and then she was dancing to it.
Do you remember at one point we were talking about doing the Arcade Fire song in the car, that you sing in the car?
Oh, yeah.
And then you and Evan sang it?
We did,
And you
yeah.
sent me an
We
MP3?
recorded
Quick,
a little cover.
For a price, people, for a price.
Go ahead.
Hey, how was working with Evan?
We're really good friends.
Okay, by the
We
way,
bounce off each other.
yeah, good sound there. Yeah. Hi.
Hi.
I know you've been a fan of Evan Rachel Wood since you saw her in 13.
Thank you so
'Cause I'm
much for this background.
Pretty
information.
sure we
When we were
watched that
in,
together
high school
in high
together.
school.
Yes, I appreciate it.
How was it working with her? What's she like?
Great question, thank you. It's true, I've always been such a big fan of Evan's, and I've always wanted to work with her, and we were actually acquaintances when we started coming together enough to, send the script out. And I reached out to her, she said yes, I think within a few hours. And then it was this amazing opportunity because we were like, oh, we need to hang out all the time now because we're playing sisters. And as it goes and getting an independent film made, it was delayed and delayed and delayed. So we became really close over the course of a year. And she's just so mind-blowing and so powerful to watch and is like in and out of it so quick, you know? And it was so special to do something where you've already, not that, it's fun too to like jump on a set and be like, hey stranger, let's make something together. But then there's also something really enjoyable about getting to work with someone in a way that's that intimate, who you feel connected to and trust, so, yeah.
And just, I'd like to say, it was delayed and delayed and delayed until Neve Fitchman and Kevin Christ is here, and Aaron Gilbert and Telefilm Canada and Bell Media and Elevation, and now A24 is a fabulous distribution company in the U.S. is releasing it end of July. So, these people make it happen. We all have lots of dreams and wishes, but until people have the wherewithal come to your side, you can't do anything. You dream.
We just have a few minutes left, so let's go up to the top there.
I feel like the movie was a tonal tightrope, like it could have been super, super grim, but you made it really watchable. We never felt like we had to turn away by it being too violent or too gory or too scary or fearful. And I'm wondering, just the thought process on intentionally making it that tonally precise.
Well, thank you. That's a really great thing to say because it's what we slave over, right? It's just making. The goal was to make it as raw and real. Like didn't want to do a kind of a pretty fight or a fantastic, when the zombies show up, you're actually comforted, right? Because there's no zombies, so it can't happen. But in this could happen. This could be how it goes down, right? So the tone to somehow balance a bit of raw danger of the situation with a kind of I hope elegant, but lyrical side was the goal, and it is a tightrope. It is. You can switch over. One shot too many in the pig or in the rape or like it can go either way. So we edit and we shoot with pains that you may view with ease.
Go ahead.
I had a question for Ellen. When you're making the film, how is it like mindset-wise, like going from a lighthearted scene to like a dark scene? Like, how do you balance it?
Like through the course of the
Yeah.
same day kind of
Yeah.
thing? I think that's probably one of the challenges of just acting, but probably one of the more enjoyable aspects of it. If you do something and you feel it, really deep, and you're really upset, as you can imagine, lots of moments in this movie. And again, if 10 minutes later you need to be happy kid from the beginning of the movie, you gotta do it. And I sound like what is that? What's the episode of, is it Extras, where Ian McKellen's teaching, how to act, and he's like, I'm not really a wizard, I just pretend that I'm a wizard. And that's sort of what I feel like. You're upset, you might be sad, and you pull it together. You're working with people you love and trust. You can be like, hey, Patricia, I'm feeling really tired and really sad. Can you make me laugh? Or can I go take 10 minutes or what have you? And then you flip it around.
I mean, Ellen is, just pretend you're not here, okay? The consummate professional, but she feels it all completely, deeply. It's really an amazing thing to watch. Someone who can have her, the technique of it all so completely in control, knowing how to hit her marks, how to, the most complicated little demands each scene has, and then just so honestly, I've never once had to cut around, any fakery, or it's really like just a joy as a director to work with someone like her.
You're welcome.
We just have time for two more. And I see people doing this. Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to compliment Ellen. You're such an emotional actor, and I spent half of the film crying. Just because
Yeah.
you draw emotion out so well, and it just, oh my goodness. Thank you, Ellen.
Wow, that's such a nice thing to say.
And there was one yet. Go ahead. This will be the last question of the night.
Was there anything funny or strange or whatever that happened on set while you were with Logan?
We're talking about you.
Was there anything that was funny or like unexpected that happened in the woods while shooting?
How long were you there?
28 days shoot. Funny. I mean, we laughed all the time. I think we did laugh all the time. You know, especially at the grim stuff, sometimes you just actually, you need to.
I feel like the
you
day
need a
where I
break.
did 4,000 sprints, I feel like there was some kind of day where I sprinted. That's not very funny, but
I don't know either.
it's hard.
It was, our friend Kevin was just sort of reminding that, you know, when the power goes out and then there are all these news reports, there's this sort of an audio montage. Those are, except for one or two, all of those voices are real voices from the 2003 blackout.
Yeah, I heard that.
Well, we live for that kind of stuff. We live for that.
It would be cool if you recorded that and audiences like, and then you got tons of it, and then you like made it into like a Ziggy Rose song or something. Like you made it into this like really beautiful rhythmic.
Choir.
Somebody take that idea.
That is all the time we have. There's another screening in here tonight, so we have to wrap things up. Into the Forest opens on Friday, June 3rd.
Yeah.
Tell all your friends. And help me thank Ellen